Today is June 21st, 2017. It is Wednesday, day 153 in the Donald Trump White House regime. As Ford moves one of their factories to China, Jared Kushner and Bibi have a good laugh over in Israel. How nice. And furthermore, I wonder how much that trip cost the American taxpayer to send the old 36-year-old slumlord over to Israel. Have a good time. Slap old Bibi on the back and say, "Hey, Uncle Bibi, haven't seen you in a long time. Let's make some business deals while I'm here." "Sure, Jared, sure. But first, did you bring that $30 billion that the congressman promised me?" Yes, very good, Jared, very good. And when you go back there, set me up another speech in front of Congress. I like it when they get down on their hands and knees and give me 36 standing ovations. It makes me feel like I'm the President of the United States. Perhaps if President Bibi and his congressman shills put that much effort into reducing regulations and eliminating red tape and lowering taxes, maybe China would not be taking away all our jobs. Yes, maybe if they put that much effort into working out some of our problems here, that Ford would be able to open up some more factories. Instead of sending their factories to China, maybe it'd be nice if I was reporting to you that Ford opened up a new factory that could employ 10,000 American deplorables. But you know what? It didn't happen. And I know that doesn't surprise you. So let's figure out why it did not happen. Because the real people in charge, well, let me show you what the real people in charge are doing. And they're not doing it in America.
This is an opportunity to pursue our common goals of security, prosperity, and peace. And Jared, I welcome you here in that spirit. I know of your efforts, the President's efforts, and I look forward to working with you to achieve these common goals.
Thank you. The President sends his best regards, and it's an honor to be here with you.
Well, we just had a historic trip. The President was greeted here with fantastic warmth. He made an indelible impression on the people of Israel, and it's good to see you again. Please send him our warmest regards.
I definitely will.
Thank you.
I'll try not to puke. But I wonder, how much money did they make on that deal? Sending the factory to China, they probably got a little commission out of the deal. I don't know. Let's see what the comments are. What do Americans really think about this situation when we're losing jobs every day? Americans know who the real President of the United States of America is. Americans are not stupid. We know who's running the Zion American empire. But I tell you what, I bet you Donald Trump and Steve Bannon are just happy to have the old 36-year-old slumlord over in Israel and out of the White House for a while. Can you imagine working around Ivanka and Jared, prancing around the Oval Office in Italian $5,000 high-heel shoes and sneakers? Okay, I apologize for putting that image into your head. But if we do a Google on Donald Trump today, we get 355 million results in 0.68 seconds. But please, for the love of God, tell me this is a joke. It's not possible that he could be hiring Megyn Kelly. I mean, haven't we all had enough of Megyn Kelly? I mean, I know I have. So, I hope that's a joke. Donald Trump also says that poor people, you need to stay in your place, okay? The government is no place for poor people. You see, it's better for everybody. If you just serve me my wine and go fetch my chocolate cake for me, you know, the economy will run a lot better like that, especially when I put my billionaire friends in the cabinet. So it doesn't surprise me that Donald Trump is defending his billionaire friends. I mean, they are the ones who bailed him out when he went bankrupt. So indeed, yes, promises were made. The real promises were made to Goldman Sachs. What he was talking to the American people about draining the swamp, well, that was just, you know, a little joke. The real promises he made were to billionaires like Wilbur Ross, Carl Icahn, anybody who has Goldman Sachs in their pedigree. You're welcome in the White House. You'll be able to get a big fat $200,000 paycheck, even though you are a billionaire or a multi-millionaire and you don't need a paycheck. You see, that's okay, because the American taxpayers would love to give you $200,000 a year salary, even though you are a billionaire. You know, American people, we're very, very generous people. But we're really not smart enough to work in the government. You see, it takes a special kind of stupid to work in the government. To be able to take like $100 million or $1 billion and lose it. You know, just borrow the money from the bankers and just lose it. I don't know where it goes to, but it just poof, it just went somewhere. Who knows? Maybe it went to the gangsters with racketeering tax. I have no idea where all the money went. But then you just file bankruptcy. You see, you got to be pretty smart to do that. You know, the dumb poor Americans, you know, they could not ever do that. No way could I take $100 million from a banker and then blow it and then go to bankruptcy court and have it all forgiven and then somehow I would still stay rich. You know, no, Americans are not even close to being that clever. Hell, the bankers wouldn't let me do that even one time, let alone 2 times or 3 times. But how about 4 times? Now that takes a special type of corruption, yes. I mean, you really got to be from New York. You really got to know the bankers and all the dual citizens. Well, probably you have to be friends with Bibi to do that. 4, 5, or 6 bankruptcies. But please, don't hire any poor Americans because, you know, who knows? They might be able to show your ass up. Oh, I forgot. I'm not allowed to talk about President Bibi like that. Yes. Americans, you got to know your place. You got to know your place. And, well, it doesn't look like they're going to do a follow-up meeting with Donald Trump, the Black Caucus. You know, they had enough of Trump already. I think everybody's had enough of Trump already. You don't get welfare for 5 years. Well, how about this? How about you never get welfare? What? What do you got out there? You got billions of people, billions of third world poor people out there. And you think Americans who have no job, you think I can even afford to give you welfare after you've been here 5 years? No. Try this plan out. No welfare, period. I mean, we cannot even take care of the people who were born and raised here. Born and raised Americans, we don't have no job, and yet invite the third world people in and give them welfare after 5 years. After 5 years, sure, you deserve it. Because, like I say, the American people were very, very generous. Not very smart, but were very, very generous. I hear the Queen gave a little speech today. I'm sure Donald Trump was listening. He likes to listen to the kings and the queens and the princesses. This is a pretty weird tweet. After decades of rebuilding foreign nations all over the world, now we are rebuilding ours. Wow, I didn't really hear anything today about rebuilding our factories. I mean, I heard about Ford moving a factory to China. I mean, is Trump delusional? I have this theory that I know why Ivanka and Jared are in the White House now. I'm pretty sure I know why. The nepotism is there because they're there to protect Trump from everybody, from the world finding out that Donald Trump is senile. I'm sure that if you even try to get close to Donald Trump, Ivanka will be there with her high heels, and she'll be putting those heels right into your toes if you try to get too close to Donald Trump. Because I'm almost positive Donald Trump has to be going senile to make tweets like that we are now rebuilding America while Jared Kushner is in Israel, while I think he was on the phone to a prince in Saudi Arabia after he got done listening to the Queen's speech. And after all of that foreign horse shit, he then goes out and tweets to the American people, yeah, we're working on your problems, America. There's only one answer for that behavior. He must be senile or delusional. Maybe Americans should ask the King of Saudi Arabia. He would know. I mean, he's probably only the few people who get to talk to him. So, as Americans are suffering, we already know that. Who is this brother of Jared Kushner? It's coming out that he has a $2.7 billion company. The only problem is this company gets rich off of Obamacare. Kind of strange, isn't it? A tech company that gets super rich, billion-dollar rich off the Obamacare. He just happens to be a Kushner, and of course the Kushners are Democrats, and they love the Clintons, and they love Obama, and he's getting rich off of Obamacare, and it's quite possible that Donald Trump could break him. I don't know, maybe that's the good news for today, I don't know, but I just bring it up, but that could be the good news for today. Chelsea Clinton accuses Bannon of fat-shaming Sean Spicer. Now, I don't know. When I was in the military, we had a weight guidelines. If you couldn't get overweight. So we know that Sean Spicer is a commander in the Navy. So, you know, you're not allowed to get overweight. Well, that was back in the old days when we had real soldiers. Back in the old days when we didn't have trannies. You see, back when, I can remember in the military when we did not have trannies in the military. And they did have a guideline. If you got overweight, they kicked you out. But again, what do I know? I'm a dinosaur. That was a long time ago. Today, you can possibly be, a 400-pound tranny. And they'll give you a desk job in the military. That's beautiful, just beautiful. And I wonder who we should blame that fiasco on. Yes, I mean, we cannot blame Trump for everything. Trump's just gotten started. I mean, give Trump time. We cannot blame him for everything. But I tell you what we can blame Trump for, that little cryptic Hungarian. You see, Donald Trump doesn't like real Americans. If you were born and raised in America, if you're a real American, he doesn't care for you. But if you're a cryptic Hungarian born in the UK, well, he'll hire you. And it doesn't matter if the FBI fired you. It doesn't matter what you do or what you say, as long as you are born in another country, as long as you're cryptic, a cryptic Hungarian, well, Donald Trump will accept you with open arms into the White House. Because you know what? The White House is not for real Americans. Come on, who do these Americans think they are? You need to be happy with that hamburger flipping job, serving the wine and the cocktails. You got to be happy with that, because Donald Trump ain't got time for you. You see, he's got time for the crown prince. There's apparently a new crown prince in Saudi Arabia. Not that Americans give a shit, but like I say, you know, Donnie, he likes this royalty shit. Donnie gets off on this stuff. As Ford sending their factories to China, Donnie's talking to, unbelievable. All right, let's try to find some interesting news. We'll wind this segment down today because, quite frankly, talking about Donald Trump is making me kind of sick at the stomach, to be honest with you. It's one of those days when they're over in Israel and Saudi Arabia and the Queen is talking and Donald Trump is bullshitting us. I mean, sometimes I just have enough of this guy. So we'll just look for some interesting news. Michael Moore is crying. The Democrats have no message, they have no plan, they have no leaders. Well, maybe if they weren't so focused on dual citizen, maybe they could win. You see, the dual citizens only want one thing, and they want your money. And maybe they don't understand that the American taxpayers are getting tired of that. I mean, we don't have the money to give them. I mean, if we had good jobs, maybe we could afford to send $30 billion over there. But we don't have that kind of money anymore. And then you have Connecticut professors calling Caucasians. This is getting bad. We do have a civil war brewing because, we just don't see eye to eye. I don't think this is the time to talk about it, but I believe that this looks like if we cannot work this out eye to eye, then there's going to have to be some separation. Separation may be the right thing to do because you ain't seen nothing yet. Once the robots come in, you ain't seen nothing yet. And I know when I talk about that universal basic income, everybody goes crazy. But when those robots come, there's going to have to be some better solutions out there. And let me tell you something. Donald Trump, Jared Kushner, Bibi, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, the Queen of England, ain't none of them got any solutions for you and I. You know where those solutions are going to come from for America? They're going to come from you and I, because the Queen is delusional, the Prince and the King is delusional, Jared Kushner and Bibi are delusional, and Donald Trump gets down on his hands and knees and worships all these delusional people. Yes. America, we're going to have to get up off the couch and do it our own. We're going to have to do it our own. Trust me, we're going to have to pull up our bootstraps because these rich bastards just don't give a shit about you. I mean, look at him. Seriously, look at him. Is that guy going to do anything for you? Jesus, no. Hell no, he's not going to do a damn thing for us. Cosby juror, there's 2 holdouts that prevented a guilty verdict of Bill Cosby. McCain said North Korea killed Warmbier. If I see Jared Kushner's picture one more time today, I seriously will puke profusely. And family, okay, we knew this was coming, didn't we? We saw this. This was no surprise. There will be no autopsy. There will be no autopsy. I mean, he comes into America. They don't know what's wrong with him, but they're not going to keep him in the hospital for a month or 2 for test and observation. No, they couldn't do that. Tell me there's something not fishy going on there. So we'll just wind this segment down looking for some interesting or good news today. I believe at the end of this video, I think I remember there is one piece of good news today. I mean, we'll get to that at the end of the video. I always like to find one good piece of news per day. That's as good as it gets. And Bloomberg says Trump should stop tweeting. I mean, there's somebody who tells Trump to stop tweeting every day. I think they should just give up. Donald Trump is just going to keep on tweeting and tweeting until they impeach him. He's not going to quit. Nobody tells Donald Trump what to do, except for maybe the King of Saudi Arabia. Or Bibi, yeah. There's only a couple people out there to get to tell Trump what to do. I guarantee you, if Bibi told Trump to stop tweeting, he'd be stopping tomorrow. And you talk about Eric Holder thinks he's going to run for the president of the United States. I think that guy's approval rating when he was Attorney General, I think it was like a -6. These career politicians, I don't even have the right words for how stupid these career politicians are. They just don't get it. We cannot even stand to look at their faces anymore. Don't they realize that Donald Trump was not a career politician and he won? And then all these people who are career politicians, they just don't get it. They're hanging in there with their fingertips. So we'll just keep on looking. The Georgia election, that was really sweet, the Georgia election. Bibi and his friends, I mean, they could not lose the election. They had both sides, Democrat, Republican. Man, how sweet it is. If only Americans could wake up that they have both sides, They own the left and the right. Doesn't matter what you call yourself. Call yourself a Democrat. Call yourself a Republican. I mean, they had it all locked up. Donald Trump and Bibi had nothing to worry about. I mean, one of them was a full-fledged dual citizen. The other one was a dual citizen by injection. Oh, you can't make this shit up. What are they, like, a tiny percentage of the population down there? I mean, who is the major population in Atlanta, Georgia? Did you see them represented in there? You see, we are not represented in America. That's the problem. We are not represented. The good people of Georgia had two choices: a dual citizen or one who was dual citizen by injection. That's not representation. That means you're being ruled. That means a master-slave relationship. That's where we're at in America today. And no, this is not the good news I was talking about. No, this is not the good news. But that Donald Trump thinks it's a good news. Okay, let's get to the layoffs today. It says here, the Illinois controller, it says the state can no longer function. So Illinois is having problems. They cannot pay those pensions. Okay, here's the good news. Well, this is not the good news. 100 people laid off in Kansas. But here's the good news. It says here was an EPA. The EPA plans to buy out 1,200 people. Now, I mean, buying them out, giving them money is not really the good news, but getting rid of the EPA people, that's 1,200 employees that we no longer have to give a paycheck out to every week. That's somewhat good news, okay? Hey, that's the best I got. Laying off or buying out 1,200 EPA people, that's as good as it gets today. Thank you.